So do you know that you can actually take a position in some of the top Thailand stocks that are listed in the Thailand Stock Exchange, but you don't have to buy it in Thailand Exchange. You can actually buy it like a normal Singapore stock under the Singapore Stock Exchange. Do you know about these stocks? How do you do it? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier MyZelle trader in Philip Securities, and in this video, pretty much I'm sharing with you 3 Thailand stocks that you can potentially take a position on, why you can potentially consider them for entry to get some profits as it rebounds back up, and what are these stocks that you can buy just like any other normal Singapore stocks that's listed on the SGX, right? So there are 3 stocks essentially right now, and the first stock will be this stock right over here called Airport of Thailand, right? So in Thailand it's listed there, the stock code is AOT, but you can actually buy it in the Singapore market, right, under this code called TATD. So how do you do that? Well, essentially SGX has launched what we call the SDR, right, Singapore Depository Receipts, which allows you to take a position in these Thailand stocks just like any other normal Singapore stocks. You have a beneficial interest in the underlying shares that is listed in the Thailand Stock Exchange, but now you can just buy it like a normal Singapore stocks. You don't have to go through any foreign currency conversion and all that stuff. It's just like any other normal Singapore stocks, like your bank stocks, your DBS and all that stuff, right? So it's pretty much the same, right? And it's so much more convenient. So what are the 3 stocks that allows you to do that, right, in terms of the 3 Thailand stocks? Let me share with you. So the first one would be this Airport of Thailand, right? Airport of Thailand, which pretty much manages and operates the airports of Thailand. They run the duty-free stores, the restaurants, the baggage counter, security check-in and all the stuff, right, in Thailand, pretty much running all the airports. So the first one is Airport of Thailand. So right, we look at the underlying stock that's listed on Thailand in a bit, right, in terms of the chart, and then we look at the SDR as to how you can potentially time your entry to just get in on the SDR, right, that is listed in the Singapore Exchange, and that would be, look at this right over here, Airport of Thailand space THSDR. So whenever you see like this, TH stands for Thai, right, so THSDR is pretty much the Thailand underlying SDR, that the code is TATD, that is listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. So you don't have to go and buy the Airport of Thailand stocks that's listed in Thailand. You can pretty much just take a position in this TATD code, right? Airport of Thailand listed in Singapore as an SDR. So that's the first one, Airport of Thailand. The second one would be this PTTEP. This is a leading oil and gas exploration and production company in Thailand itself. And same thing with the SDR right over here called PTTEP space TH space SDR, Singapore Depository Receipts, which you can take a position on in the Singapore Exchange, alright? You don't have to go and buy the one that's listed on Thailand Stock Exchange. Alright, next one will be CPO. So this pretty much runs the 7-Eleven convenience store chain in Thailand. And same thing, we have an SDR for this Thailand underlying listed company, alright? And this SDR is called CPO space THSDR. The code is TCPD. So pretty much 3 Thailand stocks with 3 corresponding SDR, which you can actually take a position on, or just like any other normal Singapore stock. So we just go on to dive into the charts of these 3 underlying Thailand stocks and then see what's the current level right now. How can we potentially position ourselves to ride more upside after converting it to like the Singapore prices, and see if you can take a position on the Singapore SDR. Okay, first stock, Airport of Thailand, the underlying stock listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange, right? So before I talk about the SDR, let's take a look at this stock right over here. You can see that we have found a bit of support coming back right at this level, and that would be around that $66 support level that we have been holding above for more than a year now. You can see that that was where we were trading below it, right? It was a very firm resistance just last year in 2022. We broke it and started to swing up slowly all the way to about that 76 resistance level, whereby we touched about 2-3 times and we started to see weakness, right? So we've been seeing weakness, I would say, over the past like 2 to 3 months. You can see that there are some signs of the trend turning down in terms of the mid to long-term trend, with the 100 days and 200 days moving average slightly pointing down. But you want to take note of this 20 days moving average. So the 20 days moving average would be this green line. Now you can see that this green line, it was actually like flattening out when we were holding above that 70 Thai baht level, but we broke 70, all right, and this 20 days moving average started to point down, right? And over the past 1-2 weeks, you can see that the 20 days moving average, right, this short-term trend has started to flatten out. It is not really pointing down, so it seems like we have found that same support coming out at about that $66. So it could be a potential rebound, right, from 66 maybe all the way back up towards that 70 Thai baht level. So that could be the range right now from 66 all the way up to that 70, right? That's pretty much the range right now, whereby we might see a bit of a rebound, right? So if you're looking to get in on this company, all right, even though the longer term trend might be still pointing down slowly, but I guess eventually if we were to stay above that 66 level, all right, we might see some signs of a reversal, right? Shorter term trend have already started to flatten out. It might potentially start to reverse up, and if that happens, the longer term trend can potentially start to reverse up as well. So you can monitor, right? I think that right now, as long as we stay above that 66, which could be a good entry, all right, all the way up to 70, and if 70 were to give way, a potential rebound can happen all the way up to that 75 to 76 level, which is pretty much the recent high we have seen just last year. All right, so how can you potentially take a trade in this Thailand underlying stock without actually buying the stock that's listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange? Well, you can take a position in this Singapore SDR, which is pretty much the code is TATD, right? TATD, and you can simply do a very simple price conversion. So for example, right now, let's say that this price level, or in terms of the support level, is like about 66 Thai baht. So 66 Thai baht, if you convert it into like Singapore dollars, the times conversion rate as of today is like 0.038. That would be about $2.51, 2.51. So if Singapore SDR would hit to about 2.51, that could be an entry to ride it all the way up, all right, towards that maybe 70 Thai baht or 76. And if you convert like in terms of 76 Thai baht convert to Singapore dollars, is about 2.89. So let me just share with you what I mean. So for example, Airport of Thailand, you can see this is the price right now, about 2.62. So if it does head towards maybe 250 level, that would be pretty much back to the support at about 66 Thai baht. And if it does rebound towards the 290, right, 290, that's pretty much the target. That is about 76 Thai baht, right? So you can just do a quick conversion. So just a quick run through of the prices after converting to like Singapore dollars in terms of the SDR, right? So in terms of the support level, it's about 250, right? Singapore dollars 250. That would be the 66 Thai baht. And if it does rebound all the way up to the 76 Thai baht, it's about $2.90 Singapore dollars. So you can try to time your entry near that 66 Thai baht, which is near $2.50. As I mentioned just now, the price is about 262. So you can get in on dips near about 250, 255, around that range for a good rebound, right, all the way up towards the 290. You can see that would be about more than 13 to 14% upside, right, just by getting in on the Thai SDR. Okay, let's take a look at PTTEP, the underlying stock that's listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange, and what we can potentially do on the SDR as well. So you can see that for PTEP, we have staged quite a good rebound since like June, right, because oil prices has actually pushed higher. So there's some strength coming back. We actually neared this very resistance at about a 180. So 180 is a very key level. You can see we kind of like neared it just a couple of weeks back, and sellers came back. Oil prices started to dip a little bit, and we have seen some short-term weakness. So right now, we are kind of like heading back towards this support level, all right? That would be around that 155. So 150 was a little bit of a support a couple of months back, but right now it seems like 155, whereby we have been holding above it since July, is holding quite well, all right? So it might be heading towards the 155, 156 support level. Hopefully we stabilize there, and that could be an entry, all right, to ride it all the way up towards that 180 level, all right? So that is pretty much for PTTEP. So the short-term trend is still pointing down right now, as you can see in terms of the 20 days moving average. So when we look at this like 20 days moving average, the green line, normally what we want to see is we want to see it like stabilize or at least stop pointing down, all right? And we see some short-term strength coming back, whereby buyers are starting to come back. It kind of like pushes towards the support and rebounds a couple of times. That would give more strength in terms of the short-term trend potentially turning up as well. So right now it's still pointing down, but let's see. I think if it does hit to near 1.5, some buying pressure comes back over the next 1 or 2 weeks. If it rebounds from there again, eventually this 20 days moving average green line will start to flatten out, and that is where you could potentially time your entry to ride the reversal on this company, especially if the oil prices started to rebound as well. All right, so let's compare it with the SDR. What can we potentially do in terms of the buying this stock on the Singapore Exchange? Well, you can take a position in this stock called the TPED, which is pretty much right over here, Code is TPED, Singapore stock. Singapore dollars is about $6.10. So after converting the Thai baht to Singapore dollars, you can just thumb 0.038, which is pretty much the conversion right now. So for example, 180 times 0.038 is about $6.84 Singapore dollars. And same thing, the support level at 155, if you times 0.038, you convert it to Singapore dollars, is about $5.90. So if it does, the Singapore SDR would hit to near 590, 592, 95, something like that, that is where it could be a good support for you to catch the rebound all the way up to maybe all the way to about $6.80 over cents. And that would be like about a 10 to 15% upside, all right, if we do see the underlying stock that's listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange rebounding up as well. So let's go on to the third Thailand stock listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange called CPO, right? The company that runs the 7-Eleven convenience store chains in Thailand, right? So it's currently trading at about 56.25 Thai baht. So this is the underlying stock, and you can see that we are pretty much heading back to this very key support level that I talked about previously as well, and that would be the 52 Thai baht level, right? So 52 Thai baht is a very key level. We have been holding above it since 1-2 years back. In fact, just a couple of weeks back, we have neared it, and buyers seems to be coming back. And you can see that when we broke this support level previously, that was like the $60. So 60 was like a pretty strong 60 Thai baht support level we've been holding above since the beginning of 2023. And unfortunately, somewhere around October, we broke it. The 20 days moving average line started to point down. But over the past 1-2 weeks, you can see that this 20 days moving average line has finally started to flatten out. So there is some strength coming back in terms of some buying pressure coming back around that 52 Thai baht level. So upside could be all the way from 52 back towards that 60, right? 60 would be the resistance after 60, potentially all the way up to that 70 Thai baht. So let's just do a quick conversion. So after converting Thai baht to Singapore dollars, based on this 52 Thai baht support, it will be about 2 Singapore dollars. And same thing for the 60 Thai baht resistance, after converting, it will be about $2.30 or 228 Singapore dollars. So where is the SDR trading right now? We say it is about $2.15, 215. Right over here, you can see 214, 218. So if we do hit towards the $2, that could be a potential entry to ride it all the way up to about $2.30 for the Thailand SDR, right? And the code for this SDR will be right over here, TCPD, right? So this is CPO TH SDR, which stands for Thai SDR, all right? And you can actually take a position on this underlying stock, right, that is listed on the Singapore Exchange. So yes guys, there we have it. I've covered 3 Thailand stocks and their corresponding SDR, Singapore Depository Receipts, alright, pretty much stocks that are listed on the Singapore Exchange that you can take a position on rather than buy these stocks in Thailand Stock Exchange, right? So I hope you have taken note of some of the key levels in terms of the Thai baht, and so after conversion to Singapore dollars, what are some of the key potential entries in terms of Singapore dollars you can time your entry to get into right the rebound, right? So you can find out a little bit more on my strategy, all right, the trend trading strategy I called One Good Trend, right? You can click on the link below this video or around this video to download this free trend trading report that I've written. All right, read it. All right, I'm sure you get a clearer picture in terms of the strategy as well. All right, I'll place the link right below, which guides you on how to find winning stocks like this. It could be a Thailand stocks, it could be SDI, it could be the banks, it could be any Singapore or US stocks, but essentially the strategy that you can apply time and again to pick winning stocks and also get in and get out riding stocks with a strong trend, whether it's an uptrend or downtrend. It guides you on how to do that. All right, so Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to see you in the next video.